When I was 15, I became a model. I was invited to Paris by Jean-Luc Brunel, Epstein's right hand, who is also now dead by suicide. That was the beginning of a long journey, traveling around Europe, a lot of experiences, a lot of adversities. I eventually moved to New York, where I studied drama at the Lee Strasberg Institute. I did a lot of independent movies, and then finally I booked the part in Super Troopers. In Los Angeles, I started to audition for a really, really big project, but I was green. I wasn't ready. I was really nervous. And so I decided to step behind the camera. I directed 2 award-winning films, and then I started doing photography, working with actors and models, creating headshots and portraits, helping them in their careers. And then all of a sudden, my acting career took off. It felt like full circle, like everything that I've learned being behind the camera was now useful to work in front of the camera and vice versa. So today it's full circle. I'm working behind the camera, in front of the camera, and it's all just beautiful and holistic experience. And I feel like I'm finally meeting myself. I've learned a lot of things along the way, obviously. The most important thing is boundaries. But you can't really have boundaries unless you really truly know who you are. And that is not something that happens overnight. I think it's a lifelong journey and a search. And I believe that in order to really truly know who we are and find ourselves, we have to hit rock bottom on some level. For me, it happened 8 years ago at a near-death experience where my body shattered and I had to rebuild myself from scratch, not just physically, but mentally, spiritually. I think that something needs to happen. It doesn't have to be an accident or a trauma, but something that profoundly shakes our foundation, as in when everything just turns upside down, inside out, and you question everything you think you know, everything you think is real, everything you've been taught, how you look at the world, how you look at yourself, your identity. And it's not something that you can teach. It's not something that you can force upon someone. It is something that if you're lucky in life, it'll happen to you. And if you are really aware and really excited, and if it's really important for you to really know yourself and to understand yourself, to do this deep dive journey into yourself, then hopefully when adversity hits you, you're gonna take that opportunity to question everything, to go through the fever, go through the fire, and come out on the other side and look back at that dark night of the soul as a gift. And hopefully it'll happen to you early on in life or in the middle of your life. Because if it's too early, you're not going to be ready. We have to go through life in order to understand that we need these lessons and to be aware. But I hope it doesn't happen too late, so that we get that second chance to figure out what really matters in life and what really matters to you and who you truly are. And I feel like that is what my life has been about these last 8 years after I had that experience that was dividing my before and after in life. And now I can have boundaries because now I know who I am. And I'm still searching, obviously. I'm not ready and done and baked. I mean, I might be a little baked, but I'm not fully baked. So I'm still searching, but now when I know what I stand for, what I believe, what my values are, truly are. I mean, I've always had strong beliefs and values and principles, but now I feel bulletproof, as in I feel untouchable. I mean, of course, a bullet can hit me and kill me, but I feel like there's nothing anyone can tell me today that I haven't already told myself. And I am deeply humbled and I'm deeply flawed. And I have a solid relationship to my faith. And I feel very safe in that. It's like now when I feel like I've got rid of so much toxic behavior, habits, also relationships with people that have been very toxic, and I don't have them in my life anymore, and I've really discerned. It's like I have less tolerance because I look at it as if you have a glass of muddy water, you get used to it and you can't really know what is toxic in it, what is dirty, what is mud. It's just muddy and you can't really see clear. If you have dirty water and you put one little drop of ink in there, it's not really going to make a difference. But if you have a crystal clear glass of water, then that one drop of ink will really pollute the water. Like you will notice it and you will know how dirty it can be from just one drop of ink. And so I feel like that's where I am right now. And I just don't tolerate that anymore. I don't tolerate the slightest little drop of ink in my water. I have a physical reaction to it. So the clearer you become, the healthier you become, the more you will notice the things that are not supposed to be in your life. And so it's easier for me today to recognize what's not good for me and immediately put a stop to it and prioritize myself. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing that today. But I'm able to say no, and I'm able to not mirror other people's emotions, reactions, being able to distance myself from other people's drama and trauma and not allow myself to be pulled in and pulled down under, but to keep a distance. And the reason why I've gotten there is because I feel like I don't give a shit what people think about me anymore. And, you know, we work toward these things in life where we really just want to be free. I mean, for me, I just want to be totally, completely free from all the invisible chains and also the sometimes visible chains, right? Which can be self-destruction and addiction or, you know, thought, depression, which sometimes can be good. But anyway, point is that, you know, you keep on being aware and, you know, creating new habits and having the courage to say no and having the courage to let people go, having the courage to only choose the things that you really truly want to do, because don't mix it with the dirt. Don't only pick the things that are going to be good for you in your career, in your relationships, your health, your mental health, your physical health. And say no to everything else. And then that is what has made me come to this point where I feel like nothing can really harm me. Because because today I used to be so scared of people being angry with me, of you know, people being disappointed in me. And I was always on eggshells. And this is another time, but it was my upbringing. If you don't know this book, you should read it. It's called Drama of the Gifted Child, which is about growing up in a household which is There's a lot of trauma, fighting. I'm not going to go into that subject too much right now, but it wasn't safe at all times for me. So I learned how to maneuver in a minefield. And that is basically a child that learns how to maneuver in a war zone. And that's why this book is called Drama of the Gifted Child. Not that means that you're, specifically intelligent more. I mean, you become more intelligent and emotionally intelligent, but it's not that, I had a higher IQ than anyone else. It's not what I mean, but I don't know. I never tested it, so maybe I do. But anyway, so that has been very, so helpful and just such a blessing for me to, when people have a way with me, like there's animosity, then I get a stomach ache right away. And now I've learned to just breathe and just say to myself, those are not my feelings. Why am I taking on these feelings? I didn't decide to create this kind of animosity. There's no reason ever to have animosity. I mean, aside from crimes and things like that, right? But I'm talking about just normal, relationships with people you work with family members, with, your boyfriend or girlfriend or friends. I have come to realize there's never really a good reason to raise your voice, to say something undercutting, to neg someone, to gaslight someone. That's on them. So, one of the things of becoming an adult, a grown-up, is to have the right to put boundaries and say, no, that's not how I like to communicate. That's not how you talk to me. And I will remove myself from the situation. And you have to have integrity, as in say no to work, say no to jobs that are not up to your standard. Don't work for free. Don't work for exposure. You have to, in the beginning of your career, maneuver a little bit and try things out and pay your dues, obviously. But we have to stand up for ourselves and do it with peace, and always take for granted that people are decent, and not come into a situation already in a defense mode, but just open. And if somebody is sort of triggering you, lack of a better word, you have to learn how to breathe into that and just go, I'm not mirroring those feelings, that attitude, right? And that is so freeing. For me, it's been very freeing to not be so reactive, because that to me is a sign of weakness, and I want to be intact, and I want to be a tree, basically a tree where I am grounded and I'm strong and I'm reaching my arms up into the sky and I'm open and vulnerable, and I'm not scared of being injured where it hurts the most. I have to remind myself of that, because there's still certain emails I get where I feel that kind of like, oh no, it's gonna be bad. It's, and now I feel like I want to take all of this, and use all of this and make a product, something out of this that I can give back, because I want to be that person that I needed. And so, that's where I am right now. And I'm I'm very grateful for all of the adversities and everything that I went through, because I wouldn't want to be anywhere else than I am right now. I'm learning so much every day. I'm having so many realizations, and I feel like anxious a lot that I want to do something with it right away. But that's also something that I've learned is just let it just exist. And you know what's really beautiful, I think, in life is like when you just plant. And this is what I was talking about before, just every day learning, listening, and you plant and you tend to your garden and fertilizer and the sun and the rain and, you know, the thoughts and the rest and all of that is so important. It's so important to really grow your creative garden. In, I feel like that though. I feel like it's like, you know, every day you do something, you struggle through, and but you write that email, you write that page, you apply for a job, you do an audition. Every day you do everything that you can, and you do everything the best that you can, and you treat yourself with as much care, with the food that you eat, with the bath that you take, with the way that you talk to people, learning how to converse better, how to have a debate, how to listen better, just growing every single day. Then one day you wake up and you're like, wow, I understand something right now. I'm seeing results and I'm feeling differently. I'm feeling excited. And there's this feeling that I get sometimes, very often actually nowadays, that I love so much. It's this feeling. And I don't know if you have one of those memories when you were little. Like, you remember when you played store, when you were little, you're playing store. Were you really excited? Remember that feeling in your stomach, like how exciting that was to play grown up? Or did you play office? Anyway, I did that a lot. Um, I used to be so excited as a kid, same as I am today, of creating a project. It's like I got to, oh, I'm going to be that person who's going to create that thing, and I'm going to tell that story that I really want to tell. I want to tell it this way, and I'm going to use these pencils to write it, or you know, these tools to create it. Whatever it is, something that you're building, something that you're creating is, you know, you come up with a song or whatever it is. Do you remember that feeling of how exciting that was? Did you ever do like, did you ever record yourself pretending that you were reading the news? Remember that feeling? Because I do. And I get that feeling a lot lately. I get it because I'm like, I'm just creating my life. I'm just making up my life. I'm living a very unconventional life by choice. And every day I get to create. I get to create my life. I get to come up with new strategies. But as an adult, you know, I have had so much trauma in my life that it's sometimes taking over, and I become very anxious. And I think just the brain is so used to recalling struggle and pain and fear. Um, and it just can feel heavy, and it can feel like, oh, pressure to do these things. But I have to keep telling myself, but I'm doing this because I'm having fun and I'm enjoying and I'm creating things, and I have hopes and I have dreams. And then boom, this other thought comes into my head. Well, I'm a certain age. What am I doing? Still playing and creating and being an artist. Like, I mean, people are going to think that I'm pathetic. You know, why am I creating books and talking about acting and how to have boundaries when I probably should be more serious and have a 9 to 5 job. And of course, these are my thoughts, and I'm judging myself. But that's what I have to slap myself out of every day. And I do. I mean, I don't think like that all the time, but sometimes I do. So I'm sure you guys do too, right? Anyway, I don't know what this was about, but yeah, this is about a podcast that I'm going to start. Oh my God, I'm starting a podcast just like everybody else. Well, yes, I am. I'm just like everybody else. And I think I'm going to call it Catch My Fire, or I also have some new names. Oh, cha-ching. Hello there. Anyway, I'm starting a podcast, and I want to start a podcast. I'm going to have a pod. Okay. I want to talk to people who are as hungry as I am to learn new things, to learn new ways of thinking about yourself, art, life, the industry, the movie industry, writers. I want to talk to writers. I want to figure out how we can take everything that is so exciting right now with AI and all the new technology and create our own paths and our own careers, our own material as artists without having to wait around for anyone to pick us, to say yes to this old way of thinking, but to really create our own careers. And I want to talk to some interesting people about this, and hopefully create a community of thinkers, of artists, and start a new exciting wave of how to create art and how to make money with our art and becoming successful, and how to help others do the same thing. That's what I want my podcast to be about, and inspire people, talk about our stories and how we overcame and how to help each other not give up, because this is a very lonely and sometimes it can be very painful to do this alone. We are kind of like stuck in our own universes, all of us. Let me know if there's something that you want to hear about. I'm just starting on Zoom, and then we'll see where it goes. But here it is. All right. I'm doing it. I really am. All right. Send me a message and let me know what you want to hear about. And yeah, if you want to be on the show. I don't have an official website or anything, but you have my email and my website and the YouTube video. Anyway, okay. I guess I'll see you later. All right. Bye. All right. Hej då.